Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one for you. So I always call TikTok an absolute dumpster fire, okay? There's nothing but whiny divorced chicks, goofy effness and all this foolishness, right? Because I think I found a new low on TikTok, and that's the male feminists of TikTok, okay? Guys, can you think of anything worse than a male feminist, okay? We all know that it's a grift. Okay? And all these male feminists think, yeah, bro, I'm not a regular toxic male, man. All it is they're a bunch of losers that can't get chicks, so they try and trick chicks out of the draws by being a male feminist. And guess what, guys? You're still not going to get any. You can post all of the stuff on TikTok you want, and then when you try and get the draws,
you've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Clown world. So guys, we're going to check out a couple of these knuckleheads, but before we do, like, subscribe, drop a comment, because it really helps keep this channel going. And yeah, guys, check out the playlist at the end, and let's get into this, guys.
Alright, I thought I was done on mental health stuff, but it seems like I'm not. This comment caught my eye, and I really want to talk about this. This person says that they've only heard taking down the patriarchy as a phrase in context of taking down men. But here's the thing. The patriarchy isn't just men. The patriarchy is a system, a structure of society that puts men at the top. It's a system that values men more than other genders. It values masculinity over femininity. It's why most leaders of the world are men. It's because men are currently the leaders of the world, and the leaders of the world get to pick the next leaders of the world, and the next leaders of the world, and the next leaders of the world.
Guys, I'm sorry. I was trying to let this go. But guys, I know you're all thinking what I'm thinking, all right? But guys, the reason why this guy's saying that is because obviously, I mean, look at that, dude. He drinks nothing but soy milk, obviously, right? But guys, in the West, we are so far removed from violence, war, disease, all these things where traditional gender roles naturally apply. So knuckleheads like this can think this way. And guys, all these chicks in his comments are like, yeah, you're such a good guy, blah, blah, blah. It's all an act, right? And guys, his hashtags, hashtag mental health, hashtag not comedy, hashtag serious, hashtag male feminist, clown world.
The leaders of massive corporations get to pick the next leaders of those massive corporations, and the men continuously pass down all their wealth and power and influence onto other men. And when I say men, I don't just mean men in general, I mean specifically rich white men.
Ah, there it is, guys! There it is! There it is, guys! Guys, guys, where's the race card at? I gotta pull it out, guys. Guys, I am black, and guys, I see more soy boy dudes and blue-haired woke white chicks talking trash about white people more than anyone else. Clown world. Guys, you know that it's true. And guys, I don't understand this. I don't. If you are a white person who doesn't like white people, well, there's something that you can do to make one less white person, right? You know what I mean? Clown world.
So what do we do? What are we supposed to do? Well, we don't have that kind of money or power. So what we have to do is we have to acknowledge that we live in this system. A system that disproportionately benefits people that look like me. Does this mean I have not had my share of hardships and struggles? Fuck no. I've had a hard time at times. Admitting that you live in a system that benefits you does not mean that you've not had a hard life. You, dear commenter, have probably had a very difficult life, like all lives are. Admitting that you live in a system that might disproportionately benefit white men does not take away from the struggles that you might have had. It's simply admitting that you've benefited in ways that other people simply did not have access to. There are tons of studies that prove that these systems are in place and that they exist, and it's really heart-wrenching to read.
And the craziest part about it is, guys, those studies, okay, knuckleheads like him, okay, those studies are observations, right? But they're not explaining why, okay? They're not taking into account the natural reasons and other things about men's behaviors, about competition with men, you know what I mean? Conflict, etc. Okay? It's just saying that it's something that can be torn down. These are the same knuckleheads who want to try and say that every single system in America is racist, and it's not. It's not having access to those systems is the issue, right? But the systems in America, there's nothing wrong with them as long as everyone has equal access. You know what I mean?
So what does taking down the patriarchy mean?
Here we go.
It means aiding in removing those systems that disproportionately benefit us, in order to make the planet more fair for everybody. The patriarchy is also the system that keeps men complicit in maintaining their own power. Men are driven to these more high-paying, high-intensity jobs because if they don't, they're told they won't be valued.
No, it's because we won't be valued. And we get driven to these jobs because chicks go, I want a guy who makes $300,000 a year. I want a guy who can make me a housewife. I want a guy who blah, 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 blah. Guys, do you think about it? Do you really think any guy wants to work 80 hours a week? Right? Most men do stuff to get chicks. Okay?
Men are told if they're not assertive assholes, they're not gonna get a girlfriend. Men are told
by women
if they don't lose their virginity by the time they're 16, they're worthless. That's all the patriarchy. Everything that
guys, put in the comments what age do you think that this guy lost his virginity?
leads to the destruction of your mental health in some way leads back to the patriarchy. This topic is vast and deserves much longer and better videos than mine. I hope this can lead you down a rabbit hole that will help you understand why taking down the patriarchy is good, not just for you and for me, but for everyone on the planet. All right.
Guys, first of all, he said fairness. It's not fair. The world will never be fair. And guys, this is why there are times where I hope and pray that the United States and the West, there's another big worldwide conflict or something, so that people can actually see what these systems are for, right? Why the patriarchy is a thing. Clown world. Guys, the race car's still out. Buckle in for this.
The men who are doing the work. The men who are doing the work. Ladies, I need for you all to understand that when we run into men who are doing the work, what is usually going on is that people are still projecting traditional masculine ideologies onto these men. This is what I mean. There are a number of men who are doing the work who are being ostracized by both men and women. And women utilize terminology and say things that they don't even know themselves is internalized patriarchy. For example, this idea of men engaging in softer types of masculinity has reared a space or a once again, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. There are a group of women who are now saying that men want to be the women. I'm sorry, what? What?
And somehow that's internalized patriarchy, meaning that that's still men's fault. He's trying to say that there are women out there saying, why are all these men trying to be women, right? And somehow that's still our fault as men. Clown world.
What did you say? Men want to be women? That's extremely minimizing, right? And that's wildly narrow. What you are saying is that this man wants to essentially engage in a type of behavior that you feel women monopolize in an emotional range. That's damaging. I hope you're not teaching your son that.
And this guy's some type of college professor. Of course he is, right? Guys, hashtag down with the patriarchy. Hashtag relationship. Hashtag healthy. Hashtag feminism. Man, oh man, oh man. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Guys, don't even go, unless you're going to college for science, technology, engineering, math, guys, don't even go to college anymore. Or you'll get taught by knuckleheads like this. Clown world.
So somebody recently commented on one of my videos and said that one of the ways that men are oppressed by women is through the court system during custody battles.
Which is
and
true.
I want to talk about it because it's bullshit.
So
this
there it is, guys. Oh, there it is. Guys, look at this. This guy nose ring, right? Look at this. Come on, dude. Guys, all right, let's hear what this knucklehead says and how men don't get screwed over in paternity court. Let's just hear this.
This rhetoric has been around since like the 1960s, and it's because back then there was actually something called the tender years doctrine, and the general consensus was that mothers should have custodial parenthood because during a child's early development, having a mother is more beneficial than a father. But during the turn of the century, because of fathers' rights activists, the laws and the consensus around this has changed. According to the Census Bureau, 1 out of 5 custodial parents are fathers, and the only reason that number isn't higher is because men aren't asking for custody as much as mothers are. So you can't be awarded something that you didn't ask for. Also,
there it is. He's saying men don't get custody because they didn't ask for it. Clown world. Are you hearing this, guys?
according to a study done in Massachusetts, out of 2,100 fathers who were actually fighting for custody, 92% of them were awarded either joint or full custody when they asked.
He said joint custody. Guys, why should men have to fight for joint custody of their own children? Do you hear this? Do you hear this? This is the same thing these feminists and these 304s say.
For it. So very quickly becomes evident that this rhetoric is bullshit.
No, it's not.
But what makes it even more interesting is if we consider the idea that it is actually the truth, who created that system? Because over half of the judges that preside over these cases in district courts are male.
They should be.
And over half of the lawyers involved in those cases are also male.
They should be.
So who enforces these laws? And more importantly, who perpetuates the narrative that men can't be caretakers?
Well, when this knucklehead said that there was the tender years doctrine, right? And guys, look at this guy. The Mickey Mouse tattoos, the goofy nose ring, his hashtags, hashtag men, hashtag masculinity, hashtag man enough, hashtag enough with the patriarchy clown world. Guys, there's actually men out there that are like this, that honestly think that the 95% of men that don't have custody of their kids just don't want their kids. If that is not one of the most offensive and disrespectful things I've ever heard in my entire life, right? Absolutely insane. There's men who delete themselves because they can't see their kids, right? And this guy with this little smug look on his face is trying to say, oh man, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Guys, these men are dangerous, okay? These men are dangerous, these types of guys. If this was ancient times, we'd have to run these guys out of the village, into the woods. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones while all of us men are out, building stuff, getting water and chopping wood. They're in the little hen house like weasels. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I'm going to keep this as a series because there's a lot of these. And guys, look at his painted fingernails. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Guys, I'm going to keep this series going because guys like this honestly think that somehow that they're doing something to help, or I think all of them are full of it, and this is their only way to get women. All right? So, all right, you guys, let me know what you think. This is AJ. I appreciate you guys, and I'm out of here. Have a good one, guys.